Good afternoon. This is Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio. My light is coming in pretty bright, but it's the natural light. I'm sorry.
And this is Tanika Gillard. I am naturally yours.
Let me just move over a little bit, get my lighting correct. All right, Nikki. So, how was your day? How you doing today? It's Sunday. It's a nice sunny day out this way.
It's a cloudy day. It's okay. It's been a decent day. It's been okay.
Okay. So I'm still trying to get my light right. It just seems to be so bright, and I try and adjust the curtain. That seems a little better. You can see me a little better here. All right, guys. So we're here today, and we are discussing. No, I don't like that light. I'll just come this way. I just can't seem to get it together, even though I tried before we came live. But anyway, so our topic of discussion today is hair. Men always, oh, it could male or female. I'm not discriminating. Usually has something to say about our hair, and I'm bringing this up because I told my husband the other day that I'm ready to cut my hair, and now I did this like 3 years ago. My hair is like down my back, and even now it's down my back. And I said, Walter, it's time for me to cut my hair. Now, the first time I did it, I cut it like 2 weeks before Mother's Day, 3 years ago. And so he was not happy. He really did not speak to me. He didn't even acknowledge the fact that I cut my hair. And then I was like, "You're not going to say nothing? You don't like the cut?" And he did not like the cut. But I felt so much lighter and freer, and I'm all happy about it. He did not like the cut. And he was like, "Well, I guess it had to be short before it became long." So the question today is, do you let your significant other say how they feel about your hair? Do you just do what you want to do? Do you give them a warning beforehand? How do you work that out?
When I told my sweet mate that you were gonna cut your hair, she said, "Again, didn't she just reattach her locks?" I said, "Yes, but she doesn't care about hair because she doesn't have any hair herself. She always keeps her hair low." But yeah, that's a big deal for, I'm going to say, men in the South. They real big on hair and length. And, hey, that might be one of the reasons why the weave industry is doing so well, because men like women with hair.
Even if it's not their
So
own.
yeah, but I think that modern women, they don't care. They like, look, I got too much other stuff to worry about than my hair. So you see a lot of women with short brush cut hair, haircuts, with my daughter, she had locks and it was growing out, and because I couldn't really maintain them the way I wanted to, it was time for them to come down. And that was a big deal. Her dad didn't want them cut, or he didn't want her hair short because he felt like she was going to look like a boy. But I'm like, you could clearly see that this is a girl all day and all night. So I feel like, hey, if you don't got to fool with it and fight with it, then you don't have no opinion. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that for sure, only because I have a lot of clients and their spouse will say, well, when are you going to go see Nikki? It's time for you to get your hair done. Or they'll go home and their significant other will say they really like their hair, that it's really beautiful, and things like that. So they'll get a lot of compliments once their hair is done. But then again, their hair is done. So I don't know. I don't know.
So back to my original, and this is the reason why we're having this conversation today. I got to get a little more personal. So, okay. So I'm going to cut it again. But look, 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 look. I'm going to do something else before I cut it, but that'll be a surprise to you all. You only are privy to what I'm going to be doing next, Tanika, but that's before I cut it. But if you look at my hair and see this, these are for my lock people. So my locks are 15 years old now. Had them since I was pregnant with my daughter. My daughter is now going to be 15 in March. So I've been fraying my hair. So I have these short pieces because I sit and I pick, and I'm tell you now, I tell people not to do this, but I pick at the weak spot. So now I've been picking them out. So and that's what I keep doing. So let's say this one belongs here. And then I'll say, okay, well, I got to reattach it. But I have a bunch of them. Can you see them? There we
Hmm.
go.
There you
So
go.
I've
Yeah.
been just fraying them out with my hands. And I would never suggest that to anybody who has locks. It's just that if I do it to myself, I know how to reattach them myself. Um, and so that's what I've been doing. So that's what made me say, okay, well, maybe it's time for me to just cut it, because it's fraying in those areas, the weak spot. So maybe I'll just cut it. I didn't want to add a little piece of hair and just keep it and make a bridge. I didn't feel like doing that. So I said, oh, maybe I'll just cut it. But my husband's thing also is, if I continue to cut it, I'm going to eventually cut them off. And I think that he doesn't want me to cut them off. So does it matter to you what your spouse says? Do I keep my locks even though I might not be wanting my locks? Do I cut my locks because that's what I want to do? That is the question of the day. Do you let your significant other give his opinion, her opinion, or do you say, I'm going to do what I want to do regardless?
I think that your significant other can have a say, but at the end of the day, it is your head, it's your hair, and you do what you want to do. But I always say to my clients, if they have a spouse or significant other, be sure before you do anything. Like I had a lady who was very, very natural, and her husband could not stand her natural hair. I loved her hair. It was beautiful. It was so thick. It was what people would want if they were natural, but her husband could not stand her hair, and I loved her hair. So, but then that plays on your self-esteem when your spouse don't like something, and then even if she wasn't natural, sometimes I have clients that's transitioning, and I'm like, is your spouse ready for the transition? Because now you're going to be different there. Or if they're trying to get a certain braid or whatever, if you're getting locks, is your spouse ready for you to get locks? Because this is going to be different. You got to go through the stages and the phases. Of course, you could always do stuff on top of your locks until they grow out. But I think if you married and your significant other is real important to you, if his opinion really matters, then talk it over with your spouse. But at the end of the day, where's your freedom and where's your voice? Because I think sometimes you can get lost in what somebody else wants rather than what you want. Even if you have to compromise, maybe he don't want it that short. Maybe you get it a little cut, but just a little longer than what you were planning on. Maybe something like that. And it crosses all borders. It crosses on coloring your hair. It colors. Yeah. So I mean, when do you just be your unique self? Well, what's your opinion?
Yes.
You being
like
quiet.
Tanika, you know me. Well, Walter doesn't really care. He cares, but not to the extent of, it wouldn't be a big argument. But the fact that
it's not
so
in the
long,
prenup.
Right. So I would say, well, I'm going to cut them. And he's like, oh, I thought you was going to let them grow to the floor. Because that's what I used to say back in the day. I'm going to let it sweep the floor, And then for me to have cut them really short. And now for me to say again, I'm ready to cut them again, And eventually
you have a comment
they will
in the
come
box.
off.
Did you see the comment?
Oh, wait, I didn't see it. Yes. This is true. This is true. It doesn't change the person within. However, you had Shatika. Let me tell you something. Walter doesn't care. As long as my hair stays natural, he could care less how I wear it. If it's, short, long, whatever. He's just loving it. I love the fact that he doesn't care that it's natural. But anyway, back to your comment. I'm sorry. Right. It doesn't change the person within. The problem I have is if they are overpowering with their opinion. Like if they are like adamant, I feel like if they have like a feeling of a sense of control, that's where I have a problem. Like I have clients, quite a few actually, and I'm so thankful I don't have a husband like that. But it's like, no, you have to color your hair. Why? Like my hair is gray. Nika can't stand it. She said it ruins our twinness, but you can see it all through the camera. I am gray. And so Tanika has a problem with it. She's my significant other, but but it doesn't bother the husband at all. But I have clients oh, my husband, I have to color it because of my husband. But I'm like, you're getting older. Let's face reality. Your hair is not black. And then sometimes the black will be so unnatural looking because you're older. And we all know your hair is not black, So then I'll say something like, well, maybe we should do it like instead of a 1B, let's just do it a brown or something like that, a little lighter than a harsh jet black. And so it's more compromisable that way. As long as it's colored, the spouse usually doesn't care, but they just don't want to see all that gray hair. And then I have another client, but she is a mother of a NFL star, um, and she wears her weaves, but her hair is starting to fall out. And I'm saying the weaves are too much. You need to give your hair a break from the weaves. But because of her stature, she feels like she can't do anything else but the weaves. But we did something different. We did something different. I was able to talk her into something different. She loved the style, but yeah, because she's of that stature, she felt like I have to have this weave. I have to have this weave. This is what people are used to seeing me in. I have this function to go to, that function to go to. But we were able to compromise something, and she ended up loving her hair in the end. But it was not a weave. She needed to get a break from that weave because she was losing all her hair on the edges. So, but because her husband liked it that particular way, she was going to stay that particular way. You know.
But you have celebrities like that. There's one celebrity we know, the Family Values, who her husband, really her ex-husband,
Yeah.
liked the blonde hair. And so that's why she went blonde. And then when they ended up divorcing, she ended up shaving her head. And now she's just back to whatever. So that was trying to compromise for her marriage. But, and even with me, mine was because I always kept my hair short. And, Gary would say to me, why don't you just let it grow? So this is the longest that it has ever been. I normally wouldn't leave my hair this long. I'm used to it being short because it's easy to do. And, I could get up and go. But even with it long like this, it's mostly in a ponytail. I really don't wear my hair down at all. And once this is over, it will go back into a ponytail. But I don't know. Even like we were talking about color and weaving and stuff like that. We were talking today at the shop, me and my sweet mate, because her daughter has rose gold color locks, and she's only 8 or 9, and so that's a big deal as well. Like, do you color the hair? You don't color the hair? And even though Rain, she's my baby, I'll do braids with color just to give her, because she's young. And we was talking about how even at this age, it's good to let them express themselves, because as they get older and get into the work field, they might not be able to experiment as much. Even with me, with this color in my hair, I was kind of hesitant because of my work. And I'm like, I don't know if I go on job interviews, if they're going to say my hair color is, but that's really society now when we talk about hair color length, because even with work, say if you had short hair, sometimes employers, I'm in Alabama, they look at all of that. All of that is a factor.
This is true, but we're talking about our spouses.
I
I don't
know,
know.
I know.
But yes, I get what you're saying. And I see that Shatika said that her daughter doesn't cut her hair due to her husband. But is that a deal breaker though? Is that a deal breaker, Shatika? Because mine is not a deal breaker. And even like raising my son, Michael, Melvin, he's something else. But Michael, he likes girls, but they have to have long hair, and it has to be their natural hair. He does not want a girlfriend that has a weave or any kind of extension. So it even starts in their younger age what their preferences are. He likes natural long hair. He doesn't want any weave or anything in it. Okay, well, I know that he has that preference, but everybody has
But
their
not,
preference.
yeah, they have their preference, but not every girl in our demographic is going to have long hair.
But he's not with our demographic.
Oh, okay.
He could be with some of our
Mm-hmm.
demographic, but he's you know whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He's
So
international.
yes, 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 yes,
Okay.
yes. And like I know my daughter, my oldest daughter, she had a lot of hair, just like Rayleigh has a lot of hair. And when she moved out on her own, and she's had it some of every color, but she was beautiful without the hair, and she's beautiful with the hair. So and now she's letting it grow back in and everything like that. And I look at
But
Rayleigh, who's
mhm.
15, and she likes her extensions because she likes it very long. But then she will rock her natural curls. She will rock it, you know what I'm saying? And she looks good either way, whether she has the long hair or doesn't. And that's why I say, do their opinion really counts? If I shave my hair today, Walter won't be happy with it, but
With your son, I'm thinking too that it might be because he's always seen you with long hair. To be honest, he's always seen you, his mother, as as a woman with long hair. So that might also affect why he likes women with long natural hair, because you are mom with long natural hair.
This is true, but let me tell you, a couple years ago, maybe it was last year, I put the extensions over my locks. I did box sprays over my locks. And he was like, "What is that? Like, why are you doing that?" Like, so he really did not like the fact that I had extension in my hair, even though because my hair is already long. That's
Exactly.
yeah. So he was like, "What is that? Like, why are you doing that?" I was like, I just wanted to change, but that's the same one when I chopped my hair off, he didn't even notice. I'm like, how could you not notice such a drastic change?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This
So
is Tanika Gillard. Nikki, I'm naturally yours. This is Tisha McDonald. She's Alternatives Beauty Studio. And this is the Twin Dish, you guys. So thank you for tuning in, catching the replay. We're keeping it light and lively today. We're just talking about hair and does the length really matter? And does your significant spouse really have a weigh in on the length of your hair? Or even the
yes,
color of the hair.
or even the color.
So it just in general, or even a style, because certain styles, some men don't like locks, some men don't like tracks in your hair, or so. Is that a deal breaker? Is it in a prenup? You cannot have, just like people put in there the weights and stuff like that. But so
Nika,
that's what we're talking about today.
you said something just a moment ago. What did you just say?
The
Right.
prenup.
So let me tell you, I had a weave only twice in my lifetime. Only twice in my lifetime
Me
have I had a
too.
weave. And Walter could not stand the weave. He didn't like the fact that he couldn't get his fingers through my hair. That's the part he did not like. I personally didn't care for the weave. It just wasn't my thing. It was something like not good for me personally. But he did not like not being able to get his fingers through the weave. So from then I knew it wasn't going to be a weave thing, but I could do my box braids, I could do my crochets, I could do any other style, but a weave is like a
Mm.
deal breaker.
I've had a weave twice myself. One sewn and one glue on for a wedding, and so the glue on weave that I had, that the,
I
the
remember that.
spouse he liked that hair. He liked the straight look on me. It wasn't me though. I didn't like it because I'm not a straight girl. If I'm naturally yours, I'm naturally yours. And even though weaves are considered natural because it's just sewed in, it's not me. So even though he might have liked it, I did not like it because I didn't feel like me.
Nikki, I am all about I can be flexible like that. Like I don't mind a straight look. I don't mind a curly look. I don't mind a kinky look. I don't mind a wavy look. I don't mind, and I think I'm like that because of the industry we're in. Like I don't care, do you? And that is the reason alternatives it's called alternatives because you could be straight, because you could be wavy, because you could be kinky, because you could be relaxed, because you could be natural. That's the reason I named alternatives because you could be anything anyway, no judgment here. This is what I do. This is what I love to do. And that's it. I may be natural, but you may not want to be natural. The only ones
Right,
I
but
will not
we're
do
talking
is a
about
Jerry curl.
spouses here, and he
Yes,
liked that straight look, and I
yes,
was like, "This is not me," So that's where that compromising your integrity come in. It's
yes,
like it's not me at all, so that's
yes.
not going to work. So when the suggestion was to let my hair grow, I didn't have a problem with that. I'm going to let it grow and see how it does. And I'm actually taking a liking to the length a little bit, especially when it's curled. But just that part. Once
Even
you
right
start
now,
not
this week is my husband's birthday. Well, I can't be like this for his birthday. So this week I am gonna curl it, which is his favorite style. So I'm gonna go to the salon. I'm gonna curl my hair. I'm gonna take time. It takes 5 hours to do my hair when I do it like that. Another reason why I want to cut it. It just takes too long to be sitting under that dryer. You're waiting for it to dry, waiting for it to dry. Then having to sleep on the curlers. But yeah, yeah.
hmm
Well. Let me tell you, Shatika, again, you are with the comments today. My husband had locks. He had locks for 7 years. And he was actually my guinea pig. He was the first client that I did locks on, and he kept them for 7 years. And then at the 7 year mark, that's when I decided to lock my hair. And he ended up shaving his off. But he was like, 7 years is enough, you know. And he has a brush cut, you know. He has or Caesar, whatever you want to call it. That's what he has now.
And I actually like to see, like when I'm going through my Instagram feed and I see the men that have the locks and then they shave it off, you can see a whole difference because sometimes they look 10 times younger than, I mean, 10 years younger without the locks than with the locks. So it really just depends on the guy and, you know, how long have they had their locks? Were they well maintained? Sometimes they have well maintained locks, but even with them cut off, they look even better without the locks. So
And
I don't have a
remember, Ma did not like Walter with locks. She was like, "What's with the men with all of this long hair today? Why can't men be
problem.
men? I like a man with a short cut." But on the flip side of that, Ma didn't like beards and mustaches because back in her day, when they had to go to work, they had to be clean shaven, and that's the way she's used to men looking. Now today, the guys wear the beards. Now my husband better not. He better not. The most he could do is that 5 o'clock shadow, and he has a little something, whatever that is, but it can't be like this. So,
Goatee.
Shatika, if you want to flip it, like you just said, what about us, the women, how we like our men? Do we have a say on how our spouses or significant others should look? Now, he knows I like a 5 o'clock shadow, don't mind that, but you're not going to do this. We're not doing the full beard. You're not doing a full, no, we're not doing that.
Okay, on my end, when he shaves off everything, I don't like it because it makes his whole face fatter than what it is. It's ugly. I hate it, and I
I
have to
had to use
endure
the
that.
U word, ugly.
It's ugly,
That's a curse
and
word.
I'm sorry, but I
That's
have
a
to
four-letter
endure that
word.
at least
No four-letter
twice a
word.
year. Well, hey, I'm sorry. That's twice a year he'll do that, I guess, just to let the new hair grow in. But it's the ugliest. It's the ugliest. I hate it. And then I don't mind this, but then he combs it and brushes it. That aggravates me because it's like, really, you have to really comb that. You know, it's not nappy or naughty. It's not like it's a big, you know, the way that the beard gang is doing it now. It's not even that deep, but
Now, some
whatever.
guys, I really think the beard looks really nice on them.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
really, it's sometimes it can be sexy, but I just don't see my husband with this full. And another thing is, Shatika, thank you for staying with us all day today. Um, I don't mind the salt and pepper. I actually like the gray hair in there. What is your idea with that, Tanika? I don't see him using the just for men color. No, no. To me, leave it natural. Be salt and pepper.
Right. I like salt and pepper. I don't have a problem with salt and pepper. I like salt and pepper, especially if you salt and pepper age. I don't like it for me,
Okay,
but
right. Say so you're discriminatory that way. For a woman, you want them to have their hair colored. For men, you're like be distinguished. All right, there's a little discriminatory, statement right there. We should have put that in the lead page of our conversation. Hear the difference
mhm,
between us. You know.
mhm.
So this again is Teacher McDonald Alternatives Beauty Studio, and this subject came up today because I am debating cutting my hair once again, and my husband is not too thrilled, not too happy at all. So I thought that Tanika and I should have this conversation. You know, she's of Naturally Yours in Birmingham, Alabama. So I've been sitting here picking off my locks after just reattaching them. I've just been picking them. And so that was the question: should I cut them, or does your spouse has a say? Because mine is like he doesn't want me to cut them, and he doesn't want me to cut them so short. He was like, that's too short. So I could compromise and say, okay, we'll do. Maybe I won't go here. Maybe I'll go here. I can compromise that.
That's
But I
right.
can compromise.
Compromise. Compromise.
Even
That
when it
way
comes
it'll
to my clients, Tanika, I sometimes feel like, why do I want to keep my locks? Because I have so much of a large clientele for locks. I would hate for someone to come in and be like, oh, you don't have locks, therefore I don't want you to do my hair. I had a new client come in last week and she said, I was researching, and I ended up coming to you because, yeah, there's other salons that do locks, but I wanted to come to someone who actually has locks to do my locks. So I was just like,
right.
oh. So then I felt like kind of trapped, like, Do I keep my locks just so I can hold? Because there are a lot of people who will say that. If
Right.
you have a relaxer, I don't want you doing my locks.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah.
I have nothing on that one.
Okay, nothing on that one. All right. Well, we wanted to say thank you for joining us today. Thank you for staying tuned with us today. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. And I wanted to just give a shout out to my girl Melvina. Yesterday was her birthday, and I just wanted to say happy birthday to her. She came to the salon and got her hair done. Her style came out so nice, one of the best styles that I've done on her, and I forgot to take a picture. And then there was another client that I did yesterday. His name is Andrew. I did take a picture of his hair. He told me that he got baptized, so I just wanted to give him a shout out. I don't think he follows me on Facebook. I actually know he doesn't, but I still wanted to give him a shout out anyway.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
Nope.
Oh, Shatika put a few more things up there.
Okay.
Right? They do look good with the salt and pepper. Some guys. Okay. So okay. Thank you. Embrace me. Thank you. Um, so it was something. Oh yeah. So you guys know that I moved to Delaware, so I'm fully a Delawarean. This is my first week actually here, and the guys was coming in and they had the beard, and so they have to wear the mask. So this was so disgusting. I probably shouldn't even be telling this story, but the mask got soaked and wet. I don't know if it was saliva, sweat, but you could see the mask was all wet inside. That looks so horrible. So I don't know why I brought that up. I think it was just the whole facial hair part of the conversation, but he was saturated. It was sweat because he was moving the furniture, and he hadn't changed the mask. So now the mask got saturated with the sweat and the whatever else was in that mask. So yeah, that is one of my problems with the and beards can be very clean, and I understand that they have the beard conditioners and stuff like that. So it all depends on the person. If they're gonna keep it clean, and that's just like us too. How often do you wash your hair? Locks are not dirty, people are dirty. So same thing with beards. I don't like seeing food get stuck up in there, crumbs get stuck up in there. You know, snot when you sneeze and it is snot gets in your beard. I don't like to see none of that. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Nikki. There you go. Just wanted to put that in
Yeah. Food
perspective.
in your bed. Yeah. Yeah.
This sunlight is flushing me out. I look so. There we go. There we go. Now I
At
get
the
the
end
light
of the show,
at the end of the show, Nikki. At the end of the show. But thank you for tuning in, guys. We will see you Wednesday. Are we coming in regular time?
our new regular time is at 6 p.m. my time,
And
7
7
o'clock
p.m.
your
my
time.
time. So we will be, I don't know what we're discussing on Wednesday, but we will see you Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And thank you for tuning in today. It was a nice, light, and lively show. And we'll see you then.